Invite your friends, invite your not so friendly friends. Tell them that Mayegu is live. Mayegu today. So tonight, we are going to dig into so many reactions that has followed the announcement of coalition against Tinubu in 2027. In the last 24 hours, I have observed with keen interest in the characters who have reacted and from which quarters. We have an ordinary Nigerians who have also raised their own concern that if there is going to be any coalition against Tinubu, it should, to my own understanding, they believe that it should be a coalition against the entire establishment, not the congregation of corrupt, individuals, people with questionable characters who have played prominent roles in whatever Nigeria is currently facing. But there is a Peter Obi, right? A man that the Ronukus will love to remind you that he is not a saint. And at the same time, he himself, Peter Obi, said he is not a saint. Also, he is not a thief. So what do you now make of somebody who is not a thief mingling with known career, criminals? In this sense, politicians. The concerns are legit and valid, no doubt. For those of you who believes that you deserve better. But when you now turn to the left, maybe, or another side, you get to see those who are with Kolu, the druggy, Pablo Escobar of Nigeria, moralist people. I'm talking about those with their own baggages, criminals themselves, now pontificating, analyzing, and you watch them from far melting down. It's quite funny though. At the same time, it is so beautiful to see. The first person that reacted happened to be Onofun Nuga, the 90-year-old, sorry, it's not 90, he's 80. So, 80-year-old special advisor to Tinubu. In one long epistle, analyzing the irrelevance of these guys. They are not relevant. Most of them worked against Tinubu in 2023. These are just some of the Boko Haram's boys who lost out of power and embittered, and they just want way back to power. Then it didn't stop there. It went on to tell Nigerians that, you see, Tinubu's regime is on their side, and therefore the Nigerians right now should be on the side of Tinubu rather than the coalition. Then Festus Otobo Keyamo also reacted. That one even kind of like became a special advisor to Peter Obi, the obedient, and this their ADC. To him, he pointed out what he said is a known power tussle, ambitions of these characters who are forming this coalition. Right? I mean, you will ask that, Baba, if you know that they are worthless and irrelevant, you shouldn't probably sit back to jot this long epistle. Right? Then he pointed out, he said, Atiku want to be president. And Atiku is behind this ADC. They thought that they were going to go to SDP. That El Rufai removed, I don't even know if that is true because it is actually not true. They said El Rufai removed SDP chairman for Atiku. but Atiku still went on to choose ADC. That this whole drive is for Atiku, and he feels sorry for Obi and obedient. According to fraudsters Otobokeyamo, who suddenly became a sympathizer of the obedient overnight, he said, what's going to happen if Peter Obi is not given the ticket, or if Peter Obi failed to become the candidate of this their coalition? What is going to happen to the obedient? Because they are going to withdraw all of their support. He said, this whole coalition thing is to lure Peter Obi and his obedient and their vote to the side of Atiku. Oh, that's so lovely. Caring for you, the obedient, coming from fraudsters Otobokeyamo. Theory, one key theory. And the rest, another person who also said one jargon is this Sunday Okonu, Dari Okonu, Lojo Sunday. The one that was a minister under Bukwari, now a special advisor to Tinubu on the same social media, stuff. Himself came out to, anyway, those are their leaders. There are many more. It is like a total meltdown. They all shy, It's either they are like telling you that nobody should talk about some people being corrupt anymore. Right now, your Peter Obi is no longer a saint. And I'm like, I thought they said Peter Obi is a saint. The same guys, right, who kind of like love to do that, right? Anyway, now let's come to the Ronukus themselves. If you know any popular Ronuku, a Ronu Nazi, on social media, I bet they probably have choked you with different take, different posts, and everything is about this coalition, right? It got so bad that their meltdown became so really bad that a few of them started threatening ahead of this year, 2027. Interesting, right? Here is one. Okay. It said, if Tinubu lose 2027, we will buy all Hausas and Igbos in Lagos. Just carry this on your mind. As much as Peter Obi failed to caution his toxic followers, he deserved to lose his entire miserable family. Obi and his family, blah, 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 share you get. Now, this is coming from just last 24 hours. While so many of them believes that now that the coalition comprises of the known roles and then Peter Obi and the obedient. So the Nigerians who are currently facing the APC, the Nigerians who have been through hell in the hands of this same APC, they are suddenly going to probably just love them and stick to them. Or stick with them, rather. Anyway, we'll come back to that. There are more reactions too from other parts, apart from this, the meltdown of the Ronukus. The PDP were the first to aid the media. And surprisingly, for the first time in a while, Anyanwu, who happened to be the secretary, the one that is on the side of Wirewike, their acting chairman, what's that guy's name? They call him Ambassador Damagon. I call him Damagon. So Damagon and Arapaja, the trio who have been involved in the entire problems that is ravaging PDP. Arapaja, Anyanwu, they belong to Wirewike. Damagon, we don't know where. I think that one belonged to Bala Muhammad in Bauchi. So they have been at loggerhead all this while. That has brought your PDP to our knees and became just the ghost of its old self. But surprisingly, like I said, as part of the reactions that followed their coalition announcements, they have now come out to say they are working to stabilize their party now, to settle all their differences. Atiku and the others who are promoting coalition, that they should leave the party or they will be dealt with. And guess what? It's kind of like, funny too. I won't say shocking, but funny, because people have been asking these same guys to deal with Wiki, who has been playing the spoiler and the internal saboteur for the same PDP. Is with Tinubu, is doing everything to undermine and sabotage PDP. He's done it severally, but Damagon and his gang are unable to actually say they are going to punish or dismiss him. So things are actually coming all together now. So sit back, relax, as I share with you some of what I found in the last 24 hours. As I believe, the coming days, weeks, months will be even more interesting. We'll soon get to the part where they will begin to trade threats. But let's start with this. The warning of PDP to I call them coalitionists.
To APC, I want to send a message. And we will continue to harass, and fight our members. But the 2027 election is between Nigerians and you. So it's better to start fighting and correct your ways. Hunger, insecurity, and there's nowhere that will be as accommodating as our party. But if they feel, I would wish them good luck. But I know they will run coming back. I want to interest that if you are a member of People's Democratic
Yeah, so the three of them were there and they called that press conference. I wrote down a few things like the people's concerns. Everyone who believes, starting with myself, who believes that Nigeria is hopeless, helpless, quoting Ubima, Judas Iscariot, Rotifni, Amechi, Nigeria is hopeless and helpless. And you can ask me, why? No, don't worry, don't ask me. I'll tell you. A country is as poor as our leadership. Simply put, the quality of your leadership, which starting from the quality of your politicians, will determine the quality of government you're going to have, which indeed will be the quality of system you are going to have. At the same time, the quality of life that the citizens are also going to have. Do you understand this sequence? You can't form a government without being a member of a political party and running for an election in a process that's in a sane society. And the process that gives platforms to individuals to run for public office must be so kind of like prudent, dependable, and corrupt-free, so that the quality of the candidates that the system will produce or the process will produce will determine the quality of government that you are going to have. In Nigeria, you see these criminals that are parading themselves as your leaders. They are true reflections of the majority of you in that contraption, even outside that contraption. Now, that's the first reality you have to probably come to. You cannot build something on nothing. So you cannot elect a Bukwari and expect a government like that of any working country. Pretty much puts, like when we kind of want to make the comparison, you can't elect a Tinubu and expect a performance of, a working president anywhere in the world. So it is as simple as that. So then the quality of those who also man other critical, sector of your economy or public sector of your economy, including the branches of your government entirely, will determine the quality of country you are going to have. Nigeria system continuously produces criminals because there is no punishment for crime committed through political office in Nigeria. There is no real punishment. Rather, they have reward. You see them all the time. That is why you see Nigerians. They don't love Nigeria. Anybody who tells you that I love this country is one deluded mumu, no matter how old or young the person is. Because when you begin to probe genuinely, you realize that majority of them actually loves their criminals. I call them criminals, they call them leaders. They don't love Nigeria. If you love your country, you would have never allowed this level of impunity, corruption, and brazen, abuse of power. It wouldn't have been allowed. It wouldn't have been sustained. So now, if you now want a working system, a working country, you are not going to import them from anywhere. It is better you become that difference, that kind of like, that change you want. But Nigeria has succeeded in alienating our citizens, and its decade of miseducation, poor education, that has breeded massive population of unambitious citizens. Now, think about that. Psychologically, right? We now have the majority who are raised to become so contented with whatever hardship these guys met on them, right? At the same time, they have become so contented, all right, with the actions of these guys. So you can't have population of people who are like in the majority, who somehow have been tamed like the castrated dogs, sort of. So then that brings it to everybody want to probably, as I have observed, though, people want something different. Everybody's got these different takes and all that. Oh, Peter Obi, why is he going to be going mix up with these people? Guess what? If the number of those of you who have expressed your personal, disgust, and they're sort of like a taken aback by this their coalition, and you are a one Nigerianist too, do you know that if the population of you who have been on social media in the last 24 hours decided that you are signing up for Showore's AAC right now, do you know that there's a chance that Showore could hit 100,000 confirmed membership in 24 hours? And maybe if you are genuinely, right, against this their establishment, and you want something different, like you want your one Nigeria differently, In a year, you probably could mobilize more than 10 million of yourselves and crush the establishment once and for all. I have said this many times. I said, you can't elect criminals and expect them or God to touch them when they gain power. At the same time, you can't stay away from a system that's like many of us are and expect a vacuum. So Nigeria is done for. Now, until when genuinely everyone will be able to kind of like stop sitting on their asses and actually like do what they want done, not expect others to do it. In this regard, maybe we can begin to actually see something different. But until then,